I don't know. Listen, for me personally, I don't know a whole lot about her. I mean, I know she dated what's the guy from the Cowboys? Yeah, Orlando Scandrick. I think they have a child together, but that's about the extent of what I know about her.
Hey guys, so over the weekend, Drea Michelle did confirm her pregnancy. She made her pregnancy announcement on International Women's Day. I'm going to go ahead and flash the Instagram post right here. You guys can hit pause and read it for yourself. I want to have a conversation on how we feel about Drea Michelle being a 39-year-old woman and having a baby daddy, her third baby daddy that is 22 years old. He is the same age as her oldest son. I have a clip from Shannon Sharpe show as well as the Joe Budden podcast. I wanted to share a couple of different perspectives so we can go ahead and have this conversation.
I ain't into that kind of. I don't really go that deep into it. Damn, Gil, why you up there got a stone? Damn.
Hold on.
This mofo.
No, stop.
Man, Gil, this man set up here stone face. I was here talking, so you know a lot about her.
Hey, your research team, stop researching.
Tell your research team to do their research, he said. So I did some research. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with who Drea Michelle is, but she is one of the OG IG models as well as video vixen. She's been tied to a number of different athletes as well as celebrities and musicians. Who better to tell you more about Drea Michelle than Drea Michelle? The next clip is going to be from her interview with Wendy Williams back in 2011. So mind you, she was only 26 in this clip. So I wonder if her thought process has changed much over the 13 years.
From Basketball Wives LA, please welcome a live hot topic, Drea Michelle. It's nice to have you here. You're on Basketball Wives, but you're not a basketball wife. How did you end up being part of the show?
Well, I met Gloria, off the camera. I met her in acting class, and we kind of became friends, and then she introduced me to the other girls, and I just kind of found my way into the show.
Yeah. Now, what was your career prior to the show?
I was modeling, mostly like doing videos and Urban Men magazines. Okay. You know, the sexy kind of modeling.
How old are you?
26.
26. And how long was your life as a stripper?
I stripped for a few years. Kind of like off and on, just whenever like I needed something.
Yes.
But I did it.
How many basketball players have you been with? I know that's if you don't watch the show, that seems like Wendy, you're crazy. But she's been.
Wendy always comes off so shady, but she's just direct
about it. Would you say that you've dated over a dozen basketball players?
Over a dozen?
Yes.
No way.
Okay.
And dated. What is to me, dated is like, we went on a date.
Sex. Just let's call it what it is. Sex. All right. Kenyon Martin is one of those names that you've been with, and he's from the Denver Nuggets. Also, Deshaun Stevenson from the Dallas Mavericks.
He's cute.
Yeah, there were words on the show that you had been with 3 basketball players in one night, like passed around.
Yeah, no, like I would have millions like by now. If I was doing crazy wild stuff like that. Kenyon, no, I never dated him. He was just a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But Deshaun, I dated for a little while.
Yeah.
But the 3 basketball players, I haven't even been with 3 basketball players in the same month, like let alone day. I like to, I spaced them out a little bit.
Okay. Have you ever come?
Why are the women clapping about the fact that she admitted, or the fact that she's alluding to that she F's around a lot with basketball players? It's just funny. Like, it's almost like the audience think that this is empowering the fact that she is owning her wholeness. But Drea Michelle is a very beautiful woman. She is absolutely gorgeous, banging genetics. So, I'm sure she has plenty of options in especially entertainers and athletes and men in that world. I'm sure she has plenty of men willing to simp out and spend time and money on her. Can we really blame her? No, especially given the time, given the fact that she was a stripper, given the fact that she's in the industry. She was a video vixen. She was in King Magazine, Double XL. This was OnlyFans before there was OnlyFans. She is an OG content creator, influencer in that space. So again, this is not endorsing it or co-signing that type of lifestyle that she was living, but that was the reality. She had a baby at 17, became a stripper. At least she's admitting it. Like, you can admit something while still having some privacy, while your husband and you still have some discretion. It'd be really hard for a man to show off his wife who is a known whore. Who wants to be known as the man who married Lana the Plug? No shade, but most men are not going to want to be with those women. They're not going to wife them up. Those aren't mother material. But I mean, she is a mother of 3, so.
Close to marrying a basketball player? Anybody ask you to marry them?
No, that really wasn't something I was like looking for.
Yeah.
I haven't dated a basketball player in like over like 3 years.
Yeah.
So back then I really wasn't looking for marriage. I was just kind of having fun.
Do you ever feel like by putting your reputation out there like that, that no reasonable man would ever want to marry you? That all you are would be a trick? I mean, you know what I mean.
I think
A trick.
that, you know, anything that you do in your past can be cleaned up, and you know, any.
Not when it's on the internet, honey.
I know.
For the
I mean,
right guy.
we've all lived, but you're living live on TV.
Precisely. This is what I mean by
About
Wendy
the
is direct.
Child endangerment allegations. How old is your son now?
My son is 9.
He's 9, and you're 26.
No,
Okay.
it's not a time for mathematics right now.
Okay. No, I got.
Pause. Her son was 9 when this is filmed, and like I mentioned earlier, her son is the same age as Jalen Green. So that means Jalen Green was only 9 when she was on the Wendy Williams show talking about the athletes that she's already slept with. Okay.
Gotcha. What happened
You have a bug in your hair.
with the child? I do.
Yeah.
See, that's what pretty girls do. They're not going to answer the question, and it's just going to be a deflection.
Yeah, I'm over here thinking about, man, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know a little something. Nah.
So what's going on? What's your look? Me personally, dude, 21. I mean, we all had, hey, look, and they about, 40 ain't old. No, 40 is not old. But hey, when you 19, like your boy was, hey, it is what it is.
You know,
She's in the third, she's 39, right?
39, yeah.
Just turned 30.
Yes, 39 is not old, but 39 to be pregnant currently with a 22-year-old means that when your baby girl is 10 years old, you're going to be 50. Jalen is going to be 32 with a 50-year-old baby mama. I know she still looks great and everything, but I can't help but wonder if it was just her setting up her retirement plan. She had a 22-year-old, she has an 8-year-old, and now she's about to have a newborn in 2024. She is 39. She's securing the bag for the next 18 years. If she invests her money right and she puts away in her savings, she is set. And not only is she set with the child support money, but trust and believe, a woman that is beautiful and genetically blessed like Drea Michelle, there will always be simps that are going to be offering her the world. There will always be men trying to impress her because they idolize her, because they saw her when they were 9-year-old boys. Women, when we used to idolize Brad Pitt or Idris Elba in our early teenage years. Is that right? No. But if you don't have parents around to guide you and tell you that, hey, like, don't be a little perv, then teenage boys are going to start to have feelings. I mean, like, have you guys seen the show Big Mouth on Netflix? So, to an instance, like, I really can't blame Jalen for having these fantasies, and that's why I think he is with Drea Michelle. However, I definitely think that she targeted him just looking at her past, looking at her track record. I do think that she sought a high value man. She was looking for a man of a certain caliber, similar or better than her previous baby daddies, better than the men or on the same level of men that she's used to dating. And she was able to secure that because she dated a young 21-year-old guy that's just getting his foot in the door in the NBA, but has the potential to be one of the top players. Let's see if Shannon and his co-star agrees.
But now, okay, 39 ain't nothing wrong with
Okay,
that.
so the problem, the real problem for a lot of women who's, that's dated very successful men with money, right? When nobody their age wants them anymore because they done got wife, they married, they done did this. The only way you survive is to go backwards, because the only people that's gonna take you serious is someone who don't know you or someone that idolizes you. So some of these older women that has names that are famous, right? The men in their age group know them.
Right.
We good, right? The young people who's looking through the magazines, like, oh, it is you. They appreciate that woman. So yeah, it might look
They've lusted after her.
especially if it was man, the man is older and the woman younger. Yeah, that'll look frowned upon. I mean, the real question is, what the fuck are y'all talking about? 39 and 21, but I'm sure that, hey, do what we gonna do.
Right.
But for the most part, like, those women really ain't
You know what I
got
just realized? Jalen was born in the 2000s. Wow. Like, yeah, what do you have in common with a 39-year-old as a 22-year-old young man? What is there to talk about? So outside of the lust, I don't know how you guys are actually able to build a deep and meaningful connection in order to raise a child together. Like, that is just, wow. Yeah. So her being 16 his senior is really her taking a way step back, because she probably tends to date men that are 2 to 5 or 6 years older than her. So men that should be in their 40s. And now she's pregnant by a 22-year-old. Damn.
Outsource, in a sense. Nobody their age wants them, so it's the people that's going to make them feel like they're wanted will be the younger generation of men. That's why some of these older women are coming back, and like, hey, young fella, be at the club. You want a PlayStation? Hey, yeah. Hey, I got a little Xbox, new Xbox, customs for you, rockets.
Sugar mama.
But look, at this point in time, I'm sure they know who she is. I'm sure even if you're 21, you probably know some of the guys that she's been with, and that's not a knock, because if you're a professional athlete, women might not know all the women, because it's not, because like, I mean for this topic, I looked and saw that she had dated. I was like, well, damn. But guys are a little bit more secretive. And so a lot of the people that, I don't know if you want to call it date, smash and dash or whatever the case may be, guys try to keep that stuff on the hush. But when you're a female, it's kind of hard because the word's going to get around, because guys talk. Guys have turned into brawl these days. Because when I grew up, that thing was hush. You ain't kiss and tell. You didn't know. I mean, but now, bro, why I care? Man, hey, man, I used to. Okay, bro.
No,
you ain't messing with her now. She with me now. So whatever.
That's the athlete. That's the young kids now. Like, shit, there was girls that I know that they got 3 or 4 dudes on the same team. Flow 8, flow 3, flow 12, right? And that's just the facts. But these young generation kids, just like when we was young, right? We're looking at these women like,
right.
These are like in his world, this is probably one of the finest women that he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Right. So to him, the past don't matter.
Hey, Gil, I don't know about you, but I'm just trying to find one of the old jet centerfolds that I used to have stapled to my wall in college.
Like, I know Rihanna and Drea Michelle are nowhere near each other on the level of success. They haven't established themselves in the industry in the same way. Okay. But Rihanna is a 10. A lot of men would fantasize, even like Alicia Keys. Like, there are just certain women that have always been known to have that face card, to have that body, that are seen as the beautiful women that are 10s in Hollywood. So yeah, there are a lot of guys who are in their early 20s, 30s that probably still do fantasize about these women. There's a number of different women. J-Lo, Halle Berry. There are so many beautiful women that can still pull young guys because these young guys have looked up to them. Especially we're in the more saucy adult content. She's desirable sexually to these young men. And they want to impress their friends. They want to feel like they conquered something that they've always dreamed of. And now they're in the position to do so. And they take advantage of that opportunity.
They know they're probably about 70, but let me catch one slipping.
Listen, we used to be in there like, hey, man, hey, that's Pinky at the game. Pinky from the porn? Hell yeah. Shit, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at it. We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. Like, you know what I mean? we don't care, man. And,
right.
And that's where he's at. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's like, I'm pretty sure whatever she's doing, them 21-year-olds his age ain't doing. And that's her advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because she's happy to be there. Right? She knows she's been there before. She knows how to play her role. She knows how to like make him feel like a man and make him feel important versus a girl his age.
Right.
Think it's about her.
Yeah. And the thing, Gil, the thing is like a female, it's kind of hard for a female to be with an athlete and ever go back to a common guy. It's not, and I don't mean common, I'm saying, but once you get to that lifestyle of being able to go places that guys that work 9 to 5 or that's not a professional athlete. So don't take this the wrong way. I don't mean common, but what I mean, if you're a professional athlete, you have access to things that guys that work 9 to 5, that's not professional athletes, that's not a celebrity, that's not an entertainer, doesn't have access to. So once a female is gotten accustomed to that or been in that, it's hard. That's why man, she was with such and such, she was with this rapper, she's with this NBA player. Where does she go? Because she's gotten accustomed to dating a guy that can give her a lifestyle. So she needs that lifestyle.
It ain't even that she needs it. She's going to get offered it. No, she's going to get offered it. Like,
for sure.
What he said was on point. It might be frowned upon, and I'm not saying that this is the way to go about things, but this is the reality for a lot of women that have had access at an early age. Once you've been to VIP, you don't want to walk in through general admissions. Once you've had access to NBA players, you're not going to want to just date the barista at Starbucks. And again, that's no shade to those baristas or a teacher or a truck driver, but that girl, in her mind, she has had men that tricked off on her already. These men have shown her and have been generous towards her and tells her that she is the ish by the way that they treat her. Men that are willing to fly her out, men that are willing to go drop a bag on you, men that will wine and dine you because you look like Drea Michelle or a Brittany Renner. Those women have been accustomed to it, and their bad behaviors have been rewarded by these men, have been rewarded by the simps online that double tap on their pictures that help them get more money and more access. That's part of the issue right there. We allow these women to feel this way, to think this way, so that now the average man is below them. They're not going to settle for an average man. And how can we blame them? It's like if you're making $50,000 at your job and now you got a promotion, you're making $100,000 in your job, you're now accustomed to a certain lifestyle. And it's going to be really hard for you to downsize, for you to go back to where you were, even though $50,000 is a great living, or at least it's an average living. It's a doable living. It was something that you were surviving off of, but now that you had the upgrade, it's hard to go back to your humble roots. So again, whose fault is it that these young men are idolizing these beautiful women? Is it the young men's fault, or is it society's fault for continuing to boost up these women?
A female is gotten accustomed to that or been in that, it's hard. That's why man, she was with such and such. She was with this rapper. She's with this NBA player. Where does she go? Because she's gotten accustomed to dating a guy that can give her a lifestyle. So she needs that lifestyle.
It ain't even that she needs it. She's going to get offered it. No, she's going to get offered it. Like,
for sure.
My body count. I don't know why in like 2018 that's any of your fucking business or why it matters. But 24. 11 athletes. Woo! 5 entertainers. Woo! 8 regular guys. Woo! I've only fucked 3 regular guys since I've been Instagram famous because a lot of y'all run your fucking mouths too much. I don't want to be sending you a video 1 minute, the next minute I see me spread eagle on the timeline playing with my pussy.
I think that's a good point. Again, I'm not agreeing with Brittany Renner, but she has had a certain lifestyle that most women have never had. She has had access to men that we will never have. So in a way, I think it's very important for us to also just take a peek into the minds of these video vixens, these IG models, these women. She says that her body count is 24 and that she has only been with 3 guys that were average guys or men who are not celebrities and athletes since she's been Instagram famous. So once again, she has access to these men. And there's only going to be a continuation of young men becoming famous. There's a lot of young people getting money, and Brittany still looks good, just like Draya. They just have to find the right sucker to get their claws into and get the bag. I mean, they're very upfront about it. So I feel like that's where a part of me, it's hard to really say, is Drea Michelle a predator or a groomer? Because the information is out there. The information for JP Washington to have made a better choice than Brittany Renner was out there. Wendy Williams called Draya out essentially back in 2011. We should have known. She said she was still doing what she wanted to do. She didn't want to settle down. She didn't want to be engaged. And flash forward 13 years later, 2 additional baby daddies and a failed engagement. And actually, you know what? Pause. I'm going to go ahead and flash on the screen real quick her brief dating history. So as you can see, Drea Michelle has had a very impressive dating history, shall we say. She's been with Jalen Green since July 2003. Okay, and previously she was engaged to Orlando Scandrick and has a baby with him. She's also been tied to several rappers such as French Montana, The Game, Ray J, Wiz Khalifa, Bernard Berrian, and Chris Brown. She said she dated him for 9 months. Also linked to Diddy, Wayne, Fabulous, Paul Pierce, Gilbert, Javaris, Jay-Z, Deshaun Stevenson, Kenyon Martin, as well as her first baby daddy who was incarcerated. This is just of the relationships that we know of Drea Michelle in the celebrity world, or in Hollywood, shall I say. I know I am drawing comparisons between her and Brittany Renner, but this is an archetype. Look at Kim Kardashian. She started off as just a pretty girl stylist to Paris Hilton, banged her way through Ray J, Reggie Bush, Chris Humphrey, Kanye, Pete Davidson. You know, the list just keeps going and going for these women. And you just kind of have to call it out. And again, I ask, the information is out there. Should we hold these young men accountable as well for knowing what kind of mess they're getting into? These women have written books on exactly how to get an athlete, on how to get the bag. What more do we expect? You want to be a sucker? They're going to take you up for a sucker.
Right. We know who she dated, right? Mm-hmm. She can walk into any locker room and say, hey man, who wanna date? Who wanna date me? Go to all 30 locker rooms. You're gonna have 5 to 9 dudes raise their hand.
Yeah.
Her women like that look like that, they options are limitless long as they look good, because the younger generation looks at them like idols. Mm-hmm. The people their age is like, nah, we good on that. Somebody who's younger that's like, oh my God, that's her. I want her. I got the money. Let me go ahead and take my shot. So, you know, women like that are going to always put themselves in position to find younger men, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if you want to call it predator, because they will do that to us. They would do that to us, but in reality, there's not one man in here that's young that won't take an older woman. It is different. Yeah. Older women treat you well. The older women seems creepy. I guess that's how it looks.
Look, I mean, look, that's not a situation I can see if she's 35 and she got a 13-year-old, she's a 16-year-old. Man, dude 21. Dude know what he doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he doing, Gil.
No, he won't.
I mean, even at 19, I knew what I was doing, and I knew her age, and I thought it was kind of cool. I like, you on young shit.
So here's the thing. These young men know what they're doing, as in they know that they're laying down with their fantasy from the age of 10. They know that they have these women in the palm of their hands because of the wealth that they offer. They know that. However, they might not truly understand and can wrap their mind around the fact that they just signed up for an 18-year bill. That these women don't actually love them or care for them or will be able to have a sustainable relationship with them for the next 30, 40, 50 years. These are young men that have yet to peak. And now you're talking about women who are on their decline. Eventually, they're not going to be compatible. These men don't actually know the consequences of their actions. I don't believe anyways. So these men might not understand their consequences. However, I think this leads to a bigger conversation as far as how old is old enough. You know, you have men who are 18 going off to war. However, you can't get a drink until you're 21 yet. Yet you can mutilate your genitalia at whatever age, 12. So if you can do all of that, as a 21-year-old man, should you be held accountable for laying down, having unprotected sex, or shooting up the club with Brittany Renner or Drea Michelle? Should you deal with the financial consequences? And my answer is yes. However, I am sad to know that he didn't have any friends or male figures in his life that would steer him on the right course. Because yeah, you can fulfill this sexual fantasy of yours, and you can check that box. However, again, you're dealing with 18 years minimum of consequences, of headache, baby mama drama galore. And I doubt she's going to be his only baby mama. She's had 3 babies with 3 baby daddies. Okay? And I hope it doesn't go that way for him, but I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully some men in his life will step up and say something to him and he'll learn some sense before it's too late.
And I thought it was kind of cool. I like, you on young shit.
Did y'all see Draya in overalls at the Rockets game with all of the fans speculating that she may be pregnant from a 21-year-old Jalen Green, who's the same age as Drea's oldest son?
Did see that? I did see that.
Mel?
Mel.
Mel. Why is it important that Joe Budden is calling on one of his co-hosts, Mel? Well, if you guys aren't familiar, Melissa Ford was also a video vixen. I believe she's currently 43, so right in the ballpark of Drea Michelle as well. So I think it'll be interesting to get her perspective and see if she's in agreement with a lot of the ladies online.
Mel, Ish asked earlier, is that considered grooming?
Oh my, do you all think it's grooming?
Mel.
No.
Yes.
Please don't do that right now.
Okay.
Is it grooming?
We're speculating.
How much, what's his contract?
Oh, shit.
I'm asking
He's
for,
gonna be.
I'm asking
In a
for
few
reason.
years, he'll be making $300 million.
So is there a dollar amount in order to qualify it for grooming? I'm just curious. Like, why was that relevant?
Okay, so
He's gonna max out. He's gonna be one of the max guys.
okay, and so in no way, shape, or form do you guys think that he has any choice in who he dates, who he fucks, who he has babies with?
Yes,
Yes,
he
we
does.
do. Now, what do you
he
think
does.
about everything?
Okay, well then that's really it. This is a man making a choice to be with the woman he wants to be with.
We're not talking about his choices as a 21-year-old whose brain is not fully developed. We're talking about Drea in her 40s having a baby by the young man whose brain is not developed. Do you have
I don't like the way that he framed that because although adults' brains aren't fully formed until I believe like you're in your late 20s, I think that goes the same for women. You know, like women who are pregnant in their early 20s or in their teenage years. Should we not hold them accountable for getting pregnant? So why aren't we holding a 21-year-old NBA superstar just because of his age? I mean, I do think that 100% Drea manipulated this guy. Again, I'm not part of the relationship, so I don't really know. But from the way that she moves, from the way these video vixens move, and from what they've shared online, it seems like she had her target on the bag and she went and got it. He should have been wise enough to see that, to have that discernment, and to not allow her to get the bag. His mama should have been there. His mom, his sister, his dad, uncle, anybody? Does anyone care for Jalen? Like, for real, bro?
Have a unique take on this, or do you just want to meander? Because if that's the case, then I'll act like a woman and start talking. Speak from your heart for once in your life.
If your son was 21 years old and a woman your age was dating your son and got pregnant by your soon-to-be super wealthy son, what would your response be?
Hell no, fuck no.
Why is that?
Why?
Really? Thank you, Mel. Thank you. Okay. I wasn't sure by her last response if she was going to be honest on this question, but I'm really happy that she said no. She would not want her or soon to be wealthy son to go after a 40-year-old woman. Good job.
Because it looks, smells like a duck. No. I'm not trusting the situation. I'm not trusting her intentions. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm absolutely going to want to guard protect my son from himself.
Got it.
That's what I'm going to try to do as his mother. But am I going to be successful? He's a grown-ass man. He can do whatever he fucking wants. And he's going to do whatever he wants. I can't control him, but I'm not going to like it if I'm his mother.
So due to the fact that we speak on when men do it, we consider it grooming. Now that is in
I
the
think
reverse.
and also,
Yo,
I'll
let's have this talk without her, because she about to piss me off.
But I'll also say that I don't like the term grooming being thrown around so often.
Really?
Yeah.
When did
Because
you
of
say,
what- because
when did
of
you
what
say
it-
that?
Huh?
When did you come up with?
I'm saying it now.
Yo, let's have this talk without her, please, gentlemen.
What the fuck? Wait, am I in the Twilight Zone? She said she don't like to use the word grooming.
Go ahead.
No, it's not that. I don't like the way that it gets thrown around and applied to it's like overused. The term is overused. And when a term gets fucking overused and bastardized, it loses its meaning. That's what I mean.
Okay, I completely understand where she's coming from that, okay? There are certain words where in society we go ahead and popularize. The last couple of years, misogyny has been one. If you critique women and the feminist ideology, then now you're misogynist. You're racist because you don't want to date a particular race because you're not allowed to have a preference. You're fat phobic if you don't want to date someone that is obese. So yeah, I completely understand what she is saying as far as grooming goes. Grooming has a very negative and sexual connotation. Whenever I think about grooming, I'm thinking about a set of behavior or a set of interaction that an older person or an adult is having with a younger person who is a lot more impressionable. For that younger individual to think that this is normal behavior, for them to accept that there is nothing wrong with this type of interaction. I think of that as grooming. For example, a older gentleman, maybe a grandpa, older family friend, is touching on the back of a young girl or is touching on her thigh. As she is getting older, he continues to do that type of behavior. She might now have normalized that and have internalized that as a normal interaction with this older family friend. However, he might possibly be grooming her. We don't know his intention. With the Drea Michelle situation, just because someone has a fantasy about you does not mean that you are actively grooming them. And she knows that she's lusted after, so she manipulates that. She uses that to her advantage. So no, I don't think that's the same thing as grooming. I think grooming is a form of manipulation, but manipulation is not necessarily a form of grooming. I'm hoping that I'm explaining that accurately, or at least that's how I'm perceiving it.
Respect, man.
Mel, are you crazy? Like, are you okay right now?
I'm fine.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He asked me about grooming.
What do y'all think about Draya potentially having a baby by 21 by a nigga the same age as her son?
Well, you are correct. Grooming is a word that's thrown around. We talking about this specific situation right here.
Where Draya looks nuts.
21-year-old that might have had your poster on his wall his entire high school career.
Exactly. He had your poster because it was widely available. However, I don't think that Draya has any say-so in who he fantasizes about. There was Buffy the Body, there was Pinky, there's so many other bodacious women, beautiful women, video vixens back in the day that I mean, I wouldn't say that the entire industry groomed these young men. I wouldn't say that you can hold any single person accountable, and I think that's a part of it. I don't think that she has a direct link to what he fantasized about as he was growing up. She didn't buy the poster, she didn't sign the poster, and she didn't mail it off to Jalen Green to put onto his wall and fantasize. She might know that. She might know that you had a crush on her. She might know that she's your celebrity crush, And now that she's in a position where she can lock you down, she's going to take advantage of that.
He might have had your high school poster, your poster on his wall in high school. He knows who you are. He probably is looking like the Dandada to his friends, and you know that. And he's your son's age, and you are potentially having a sexual relationship with somebody that
And
is
as
your
a woman,
son's
you
age.
can't give a real opinion about a 40-year-old woman having a kid that's with somebody the same age as their kid?
Okay. Yes, I agree with you. It looks fucking crazy.
Okay, so I'm glad that in conclusion, Mel really saw the light and she understands that you can't just trust every woman and their intention. If it looks like a gold digger, it might just be a gold digger. So yes, you should protect those around you. You should warn them. You should teach them. You should tell them how you interacted back in the day, Mel, because you were in those positions that Draya was in. You had access to those same men. So I'm glad that you don't want that for your sons. I'm glad that you wouldn't want a woman like yourself for your son. These young men also need to take accountability for the actions that they're doing, for the choices that they're making. And in the next clip is going to be Tory Hart, and she is in full support of Draya. I just want to share a little bit of her perspective.
So y'all know y'all can mind y'all business, right? I mean, listen, I'm not mad at Draya at all. Draya...
You don't have to be mad, but you can be disgusted.
Yeah, okay? Everybody in the uproar talking about, oh my God, she old enough to be his mom. Oh my God.
She has a son his age. So yeah, she's definitely old enough to be his mom.
His mom probably watched Basketball Wives, and yeah, his mama did watch Basketball Wives, and you know what? He probably watched it with her. And that's why he went after Draya. He wanted some of that cougar. He wanted some of that cougar snatch. He wanted some of that. Don't get it twisted. Listen, if he wanted to pull out, he would have pulled out. He didn't pull out. That cougar had him in a chokehold.
So it sounds like Tory Hart actually has a very similar stance to what Melissa had. However, her conclusion was different. Okay, she's not upset with Drea Michelle for doing what she does. Don't hate the player, hate the game type of situation. Drea Michelle is older. However, Jalen Green is a 21-year-old and he's making the decision for himself. You heard what Shannon Sharpe said earlier, right? Let me catch one of my old centerfolds on the streets. I'ma still try it. She could be 70 years old. I'ma still try it. So that's the thing. There are some young men having Shannon Sharpe or other men, and I don't know, is it too real? I don't know, is it too honest? I don't know, is it too authentic? Because I'm not a man. I don't know if these young men are actually having these fantasies and are willing to jeopardize their future in order to just get with that girl. It's partially an ego thing. It's partially a conquering kind of situation where you're earning respect amongst your fellow friends, as well as just checking off a box, checking off a fantasy, something that you've always wanted. Now you can have. Might as well, right? The last clip I'm actually going to share is going to be from a relationship coach named Tony Gaskin. I recently came across his content and I've really been enjoying it. I think he gives a much deeper insight into the male perspective. And again, I'm not 100% sure if this is what men think like, because I'm not a man. I just appreciate him sharing his thoughts, and I hope that a lot more young men can have access to this type of information and just hear it from all ends, hear it from both sides so that you can make a more informed decision, and so that these don't fall for the Brittany Renners, don't fall for the Drea Michelles or Bernice Burgess. But you know what? They are gorgeous women. They are the top of the top. So as long as they can still maintain their bodies, as long as they can be a chameleon and switch on that submissiveness, they're going to be able to find men that are willing to spend money on them. I didn't make the rule.
What you have to realize is today what we have is what I call porn babies. And that's in every sense of the word. What I mean by that is a lot of people have been watching porn since they was real young. A lot of people today, kids today, was created from porn. Their parents were watching it when they conceived them. And so it's very permeating today. So what you have with a situation when you have this type of dynamic with like a Jalen Green and a Drea Michelle, it's a thing of, it's another version of an Oedipus complex. It's more of a situation where a man has fantasized so long and so hard over this particular woman, and the fantasy becomes so strong that when the fantasy can be a reality, then nothing else matters. I know men who have spent $1 million or close to it on women like Drea Michelle because of the fantasy. And so what happens is a lot of men don't understand that what you see online is a portrait. It's something that's being sold to you. But that doesn't mean that the reality will match your fantasy. And I have coached some celebrity women who continue to have trouble in relationships. And what I surmised is that their reality did not match the man's fantasy. Because you get with these women and you'll kind of do anything to experience them. And so in doing anything to experience them, you're doing it unprotected, you're doing it spontaneous, you're doing it on a whim. And then you also will overcompensate because you want to show the woman that you're different. You want to show the woman that you're serious.
Come here, Doja.
And also, it's a mommy complex. A lot of men who have not fully matured, how would I say it? They're looking for a mom that they can have sex with. And yes, that sounds nasty, but that's what it is. Because see, an older woman, especially a woman more than 10 years, 15 years older than a man, when an older woman do like this here to the back of that man's head and rub down their neck, it's gonna send chills down his spine. And a young woman just don't have that touch. A young woman ain't gonna have that same touch. A young woman ain't gonna have that same power. She ain't gonna have that same spirit on her, because see, that older woman, she done tangled with spirit. She done warred with spirit. She done danced and wined and dined with spirit. She done dropped spirits off. She done picked spirits up. She understand the art of seduction. She's had so much experience that she know what drive a man crazy. So she was with this man and she went and dove down on that gooch and he went crazy. Some men like that.
I thought you wanted me to be a little whore. No? Oh, that's no fun.
She belongs to the streets.
So she got so much experience that these older women know what to do with these younger puppies, these young lads with this money in the bank. They also know that these young men is dumb, meaning in the literal sense, uneducated, that they don't know how to spend money. They don't know how to save money. They don't know how to invest money.
In my experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb. I don't like talking about my history with men I'm dating, I guess until now, because most of the guys that I've dealt with are going to have more money than you. And you're going to feel a way about it. I know the male ego is fragile, like the ball sack that hangs in between your legs.